Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Sea Bass with Dill. And I'm finally breaking down and giving you all some pasta dishes that you've been begging me for. Today, we're going to do a little Cajun jambalaya, pastalaya. We got some chicken, shrimp, and andouille sausage. It's going to be delicious. Now, before we get into the ingredients, you know I got to ask you, go like, subscribe if you haven't yet, share it with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell so the next time I post a video, you'll be right there to watch it when it drops. Okay, guys, our ingredients for the day. We've got some chicken breast right here that we've diced up already. It's about 12 ounces. We've got about a pound of andouille sausage. Now, this is already cooked, but we are going to put that in the pan to get a little color on it. We've got some shrimp here that have been peeled and deveined. I left the tails on for this because it's more of a presentation piece in the dish as an actual ingredient that we're going to use a lot of. So that's why the tails are on. My wife don't like the tails, but she's going to deal with it today. We've got tomato paste. We're going to use that to add some rich tomato flavor, thicken this up a bit. We've got green bell pepper, red bell pepper, some red onions. We got some ricotta pasta here, some heavy cream because we want this to be creamy and rich. Some tomato sauce. Yes, I'm using the jug garlic today, but I just didn't feel like dicing any up today. Plus, I'm all out. We've got some blackened redfish magic. We've got some slap your mama for that Cajun seasoning. It's going to bring some heat and some nice flavor. And then we'll deglaze with a little white wine, and we'll probably drink some as well. First thing we want to do, we want to get this chicken seasoned up. Just going to use a little bit of salt in here. We're going to get some of this blackened redfish magic, one of my favorite seasonings to use. And then we're going to hit it with this slap your mama. That's some heat. We got some salt in there too. That's why I went a little light on the salt. We're just going to give this a nice mix. Make sure this is all nice and coated. We'll let this rest for a minute. Then we're going to season up our shrimp with the same seasonings. And then what we'll do is we'll sear the shrimp off in the pan first, remove those, and then we'll get cooking with everything else. Get a little bit more of this in here. And a little bit more of this. Give that a good mix. And like I said, we're going to do the same thing with these shrimp. No salt on this. We're just going to use the slap your mama. Make sure we get that. And then the blackened redfish magic here. And again, we want to make sure we get both sides of this as well. Seasoned up real nice and heavily there. And then we're going to sear these off, and then we'll get ready on the rest of this dish. Look at that. Those are going to be amazing. Okay, in our skillet, medium-high heat, going with a little neutral oil here. We'll let that heat up, and then we're going to sear off these shrimp. All right, oil's nice and hot. We're going to go in with our shrimp. Now, shrimp cook pretty quickly. We only need about 3 minutes per side. All right, once we start to see them turn pink or orangish color, right, we'll go ahead, we'll give those a good flip. Go on the other side. Another way that you can tell your shrimp is close to being finished is when that tail and the head start to meet. They're going to curl up a little bit, right? So as they get closer together, another good indication that those are looking pretty good. So we'll give this a few minutes, hit them with that flip, and then we'll pull them out and we'll get going on the rest of our ingredients. Okay, as you can see, the tails, they're starting to get that pinkish red color. Head and tail starting to curl in a little bit. If we check out this big one here, you can see how we're getting white there on the bottom. Good indication that now's a good time to flip those over. And we'll flip these. Look, we've got a nice color on here. This is perfect. Give those a good flip, and we'll let them go for just another minute. Now look, I get a lot of questions, right? People are asking, yeah, I don't like to use stainless steel. It sticks. You know, I feel like I'm burning things. Generally, that's because your heat is too high. I've got this on a medium-high heat. Like I said, we don't want to sear on high heat. We don't need to. We've got all these flavors here, all this seasoning. We don't want anything to burn. And 9 times out of 10, what you think is burning, it's not the actual meat or protein. It's those seasonings that are burning off, but your pan is too hot. Every piece of protein has what we call a release point. You notice how easily those flipped over because they got that crust on the bottom. They've got that sear, so they're good to go. If you go to pick it up and it don't want to move, it's not ready to yet. And if you start seeing a lot of smoke and a lot of heat, right, and you think it's burning, it's because your pan's too hot. So just cut that pan down a little bit and you'll be all right. No need to panic. It's not always got to be high heat. Look at how much curl we've got on these shrimp here, right? They're about 95% of the way done. So we're going to pull these off. I'm going to let them rest, and we'll finish their cooking process at the end when we make our sauce and we're getting ready to plate up. We'll add those back in to finish off the cooking. Nothing worse than overcooked shrimp. It's like chewing on a dry eraser. So now that the shrimp is done, we'll go ahead. We're going to add in our chicken. We want to get this nice and browned up. Some crust on that as well. Don't want to crowd the pan, right? Let's spread this all out. And once we start getting some color on this, we'll go ahead. We'll add in that andouille sausage as well. All right, we're getting some good color here on this chicken. We'll give this a flip for these little pieces as well. Don't worry about that stuff on the bottom of the pan. That's just flavor. We're going to get that up in just a bit once we deglaze our pan. That's where that white wine is going to come in. And we'll add in our tomatoes, our tomato paste, sauce. And we're going to get this going. We'll be ready to go here in about 15 minutes. We'll be ready to eat. It's like I said, this is one of those quick, fast, easy dinners that if you just need something good to go, doesn't take a lot. Lots of flavor. Good stuff. All right. Now I'm going to add in that sausage. I'll let that get some color as well. All right. Let's give this a good mix here. Again, we're still on a medium, like medium-high, medium heat. All right. We're just looking for a little color here. We don't want to overcook anything. We don't want it to cook all the way through at this particular point. We're going to let the sauce finish the cooking. Right now, we're just looking for some color. All right, we want some of this dark coloring on the outsides here. That's going to keep it flavorful on the outside, juicy on the inside. So let's go ahead. We'll add in our vegetables. Those in here. We're going to add in a little bit of garlic as well at this point. And we got vegetables and some garlic. And again, another reason we want to keep this on that medium high, medium heat. You put garlic into a hot pan that's on high heat, you're going to end up burning your garlic and you're going to get lots of bitterness. We don't want bitter. We do not want bitter. All right, we've been going for a few minutes, about 3 minutes or so. Starting to cook now. We've got some good flavor in here. Obviously, we're going to season this a little bit more. We added more vegetables in here, so we've got to adjust our seasoning just a bit. I'm also going to hit this with a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper at this point. And again, we'll give that a good mix. We'll add some tomato paste, and then we're going to deglaze with white wine. Let's add in our tomato paste. And again, guys, remember, all the specific measurements are going to be in the caption below, so you can check those out there. But, I mean, that's about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste that we're adding in here now. And once we get that incorporated, we'll go ahead and deglaze with some white wine to give that some good flavor. Remember, it's always beneficial to have a beverage while you're cooking. And it doesn't have to be alcohol. That could be anything. There's a lot of people who don't drink, right? But cooking should be relaxing. Don't need to stress over this. All we're doing is making things hot and putting it in a way that we can enjoy it and eat it. Give this a good mix. And now we'll hit it with a little white wine. Make sure we get everything that may have been stuck to the bottom here. As you can see, the pan, nothing is now sticking, right? Mostly clean here. A little bit of these sides. We'll let that reduce for a bit. We'll add in our tomato sauce, and then we're going to hit it with the heavy cream. Let that thicken up. All right, let's add in our tomato sauce. Again, we give this a good mix. Get everything nice and coated in here. And next we're going in with our heavy cream to give this a nice, creamy, rich texture. Once we get that cream in, we'll let that cook down for a little bit, thicken up. We'll adjust our seasoning to our preference. You know, if you like it hotter, add some more. And in goes our heavy cream. And again, another mix. Let this reduce And now I'm going to dump my pasta into the water. We'll get that cooking as well. So our sauce is coming along nicely. You know, right now, yes, it looks a little bit loose, right? A lot of liquid compared to what's in here. But remember, we haven't added our pasta in yet. But look, we can look at our vegetables here. They still have some structure to them. They're going to have a little bite still. They're not going to be mush. We don't want mush. But at this point, as this is reducing, definitely want to check for seasoning. Our pasta is just about done. So let's go ahead. We'll add that. I got to add this a little bit at a time because clearly my pot, I should have used the bigger pan. We're not going to lie. But we're going to make this work. We're going to add in this pasta. We'll give this a good mix. Add in that shrimp. We'll hit it with a little bit of pasta water just to keep that creaminess in there. Our sauce is loose enough, so we don't really need to loosen it any. But we do want to maintain that creaminess, and that starchy water is going to help keep that nice and creamy. And this, ooh, if you guys could smell this right now, look, this is one that you're going to want to keep in your favorites and your notes, whatever, because you will make this over and over again, or whatever that song Tim McGraw sings with Nelly. Y'all know what I'm talking about? But anyway, look at this. This is just, oh man. So look, I just want to hit just a bit of that water in there. We'll give this one more mix. And again, before we plate up, check that for seasoning. Make sure it's seasoned to your liking, right? Just because what I like may not be your flavor profile. You might not like that. You might want it even hotter than I do. We'll stick these shrimp in here as well. Get those down in there. That hot sauce is going to help cook these like so. And then we're going to plate up. I like a large bowl here because we're saucy. It's pasta. There's a lot of flavors going on in here. And I want to make sure I can get this extra sauce in here as well. So we're going to hit this with some freshly grated Parmesan cheese because it's pasta. We got to have cheese. And then some scallions as well because we need some color. Taste test time, moment of truth. I already know it needs more hot sauce. So I've already tasted it a few times. But like I said, my wife doesn't like things as spicy as I do. So we're going to hit this with some of that Old Bay hot sauce. And here we go. Look, where's a piece of sausage? I want a sausage. There's one. Sausage. Oh. Guys. The heat, but the flavors. You're going to get that Louisiana style Cajun. Yes, jambalaya is normally over rice, but I like pasta. I don't like rice. My dad cooked rice every day when I was growing up. I don't like to eat rice. But this pasta, the pastalaya. Until the next dish, y'all.